folks, and welcome back to another episode of Pinal Prep Spotlight, brought to you by 911 Air Repair, your local air conditioning expert specializing in maintenance, repair, and new installations. We are now done with our previews for both the baseball and softball season, so we are going to jump into our game of the weeks for the rest of the season, however long this goes, depending on our playoff team, so if we have any, wink wink. So, talking about our game of the week, we are talking softball again this week, and we are talking specifically Vista Grande and Poston Butte. Luckily for us, it's still spring break, so, not a lot going on, but like I mentioned, luckily for us, this game was originally supposed to happen in late February, but it rained, and you know how things get when it rains here in Arizona. A lot of things go bad. So this game got postponed, and now we are playing it on Friday. And just, David, what can you kind of expect from this Poston Butte team?
I think what we'll expect is what we talked about in our preview for softball this year, is just what's going to happen with pitching. We always kind of talk about it, and recently it's going to be a kind of a roll of the dice, see what comes down to pitching. But for the Poston Butte side, they seem like they have someone in their eyes as the next kind of true ace, and she is not the only one, because she's had a long lineage of that. It's Haley Lopez. She's done a really good job with kind of taking over that role. She's pitched the most innings for them, just at about 26.2, and she's got an ERA of 3.94, which is okay, could be better, but especially for high school. But she's done a really good job of kind of solidifying that pitching staff and kind of being the person they wanted, or the ace that they want. But then also Brooklyn Trejo's done a really good job as well. She's got about a ERA about 2.5 right now. She's done a really good job. And for Poston Butte, it's a line of lineage there. You got another Lopez, and you also got the last Westover in Kimberly Westover, who's done a really good job as their catcher and has done a really good job at the plate this year as well on the batting side. So I'm looking at Poston Butte as kind of this team that looks good on paper. It just comes down to execution as well. They started the season 5-2 so far, and we've seen them do pretty well. But then it comes down to playing those tougher teams. We saw them not do very well against Arizona College Prep in Chandler. They lost 20-2. So it really just comes down to what's going to happen when they face that tougher competition. Vista Grande seems like a really even match for them, so it's going to be, I think, a really good game on Friday night. It just comes down to what's going to happen on the pitching side and who is going to have the edge that way. I'm going to give the edge to Poston Butte just now, but I think Vista Grande is definitely going to be a challenge for them, and it's just going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes and who gets the most amount of strikes called for them.
All right, so my key here for this game is the winner is going to have whichever defense locks in first and locks in consistently. Like David mentioned, pitching is a struggle for all of our teams in Pinal County pretty much this season. Looking at Vista Grande, they are very, very young. Their most experienced pitcher is just a sophomore, and Kiki Gutierrez. Joining her again is Aaliyah Ramos. She's not really a pitcher, but she will come in if needed. And then the newest addition is freshman Anaya Can. Just a freshman, she's not up there to getting her velocity and control on par with most of the other varsity teams. So this is just kind of a learning experience for her this season. One thing, however, about both of these teams is they can put the ball in play. So this is where the defense is going to come in. Can they make those clean plays and get those out? Vista Grande is a really speedy team, something different from the past couple of years. They're going to put the pressure on the defense and be aggressive on the base pass. Poston Butte has the ability to do that. However, going back to that Arizona College Prep game, communication a couple of miscommunication. That was the issue, both in base running, defensively. So if they can clean that up, then I agree with David. Hey, they're going to have the upper hand here. Looking ahead for both of these teams, they are going to enter region play after this. Poston Butte is in a very competitive region going up against teams like Mesa Eastmart. They're going to play Arizona College Prep again and all these other big schools that know what they're doing. Vista Grande, unfortunately, is stuck in the Black Canyon region, going up against Cortez, Coronado, Tempe, Apache Junction. Unfortunately, those teams aren't very competitive. So while this is a good test for both teams, hey, the big question is what comes after this game and what can they do to try to solidify their spot in either a playing game or making a playoff appearance. David, is there anything else you would like to add overall?
No, I think this is just kind of our first test of a real good matchup between two of our Pinal County teams. There's going to be plenty more going down the road as well for both baseball and softball, so it's going to be fun to see what plays out and who are going to be the teams we talk about towards the end of the season. It's just the start. We got a lot more coming, and we're excited for it. Let's get on with it.
As always, be sure to check out Pinal Central for all of your local sports coverage. And hey, next week spring break is over, so we will bring you more in-depth action of all of our teams.